Well, hi again. Here we are for the next blog for this week, and let's see what we can find. Well, here we see it's a new moon. It's still in Leo, so happy birthday, Leos. That's good for at least 4 more days. The focus of this new moon, of course, is Virgo rising, with the part of fortune sitting right there on the ascendant. The beauty of this is, of course, is that this is a fortunate situation, and for those of you who are Virgo, if you have any health issues, might be a good time to start taking care of that. If you need blood tests and samples or panels or any kind of examinations for your healthcare purposes, might be a good time to do so now and get stuff while it's still easy to find and nip stuff in the bud. One of the things I did notice, in fact, though, is that the stock market is starting to improve a little bit, has over the week. And I think for this, we can take a look at this chart and notice that Gemini and Cancer are both rulers of this particular place, and this would be the stock market house and its position. And notice that while the sun is in Leo, it's really well behaved. As a matter of fact, any planet in its own sign always is a well-behaved planet. You can always expect the best of the circumstances from that. And any planet that is also with that planet gets that as a help. So look at this. We have the 10th and the secondary ruler of the 10th, both under Leo, both looking very well in the 11th house, a very favorable house. And along the side of that, I think really something interesting is that Venus is the only personal planet that's out in the forefront, being in the 10th house. Notice that Uranus, of course, is in the forefront of the 7th, and Pluto in the 4th. These, of course, probably represent the fires and the big storms that are going on, firestorms that are going on. And this is probably where we're seeing most of that energy being spent. The idea of this wet sign up here for the weather-wise, we're looking at hot weather still coming in most of the country, but there's a cooling trend because this is, again, a mutable cross in the heavens. And with the ruler of Virgo here in the 11th, that gives us plans for hopes and wishes. Although it isn't a fire sign, this has a tendency to mix the two, so rain, storms, and things like that will probably diminish the weather patterns as they are and look for cooler trends. As far as the sign of Pisces and Sag, you're still under detriment here, so be careful what you do. For Pisces, be careful what you say. Any promise you make will certainly be held accountable. And for Sagittarius, if you count from this house, this is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th house. So we notice that Jupiter's in the 6th house, giving an indication of perhaps something weak health. So be sure to check anything that has to deal with Gemini, your arms, your shoulders, your upper back, your lungs, stuff like this. I'm no doctor, I don't claim to be, but if you do have any kind of a situation, go to the doctor and see what they can find for you. It's a good time for self-examination and having your doctors examine you as well. Mars is getting ready to leave Libra here in about 7 to 10 days, and when it does, I'll have another report just on that, because as Mars leaves its detriment, it will go into Scorpio. Fortifying right now, what we see is the secondary ruler of this house, also the 8th house there. So we might see some improvements in the monetary field. Of course, our personal assets, our money, here in the 10th house shows that this is paramount as to what we're looking for right now. And this would say be sure to watch diet, take care of your diet, don't overextend that. This would be the top end of the chart, and don't overspend. Don't do anything. Kind of take it easy, buy what you need, see how that goes for you. Anyway, the overall chart looks good for Leo. New moon, which is also sometimes good for the Cancer-Leo combination. The mutable sign says we're looking ready for some trends that may be favorable. So I like things changing. Right, we might see the fires starting to diminish. We should see some storms up in the northwest and in the east, and perhaps the hurricane season is still churning away over there, with Uranus sitting out in the point. The moon, of course, for the next week will travel over the sun, so that's now that it's here, it's its hottest peak. It'll start getting away from that sun, cooling down. It'll go into Virgo, cooling down, then go over to colder Saturn, and go ahead and touch on Mars a little bit, maybe giving us a little spike before it goes into Scorpio. And so that will be the trend for the next 2.5, 5 to 7 days. So you see the moon will be in a square position in a week's time. By that time, I'll be back to talk to you a little bit more. Have a wonderful week. Take good care of your health. Overall, it looks like a favorable time.